Hello, this is Jada, and this is going to be video number 6. Just to give you an update how everything has been going these last couple of days. I really have been struggling with my left knee because I have Crohn's related arthritis, or maybe they're changing it now and saying it's, I don't know, rheumatoid arthritis. I have no idea. I'm actually going to go get an MRI done on my knee on Friday, and then I have a rheumatology appointment earlier that day also, because I went to orthopedics last Friday to have someone look at it because it was feeling like every time I either tried to walk or I have some stairs leading up to my house, and it just really felt like the bones in my knee were just rubbing together, and I mean it was just hurting. So she referred me to go to see a rheumatologist and to get an MRI done to see, if there was fluid that started to build up. Because back in 2011, that's what happened. I had a really bad flare where my knees would, they would fill up with fluid. And I mean, that was probably the worst I've ever been with having fluid or joint pain. And unfortunately, I had a toddler at the time who was a boy, and he used to jet. As soon as the door opened, whether it was the house door or the car door, he would take off running. And if anyone knows how bad arthritis hurts, try running after a toddler, especially when they're in the street. So I was not really happy about that. And that's actually, I think, around the time that I started taking the Cimzia, but I don't know what's really going on. I just know that my knee is, each day is progressively getting worse. So I'm hoping that the MRI can kind of give me some information about, am I getting that fluid again? What's causing it? The next issue is I had went to the dermatologist a couple weeks back, and he had started me on, I had said it in earlier videos, but he had started me on some antibiotics to try to help, my skin. And I know I said it before, I mean, I really want to ask him, like, is there something else I can take? Because the side effects of this it's really getting in the way of me working and me just doing the daily things, because like I can't predict, whether I'm going to have gas or not. Like, this is, take for example, I'm going to use another example again. Today I was with my client at her house, and of course, guess who has gas? And I'm sitting up here, I know I look crazy, trying to write down information with one hand, the other hand over my stomach, kind of bent over. Then I put my knees up, and she was like, "Are you uncomfortable?" I said, "Oh, no, I'm fine." And I'm lying through my teeth like this medication, I don't even know if it's working, to be quite honest. But if I have to keep dealing with this for another several weeks, I mean, this is not gonna work. No. I don't know about this right now. I really don't. Like, it's really getting embarrassing. Let me just say that it's embarrassing. That's just what it is. But as far as with any other symptoms, like, that is really what I'm experiencing right now. My joints are just, I don't know what's going on with them. And like I explained to the osteoporosis specialist that I spoke with last week, I said, I feel like I am in the middle of a flare. I said, and it wouldn't I can't say that I don't know why or where it's coming from, because I have been doing so much with trying to switch jobs and find something a little bit more stable. So, I mean, as much as I try not to be stressed out or have some stress bothering me, I mean, it's gonna happen. Even if I say, oh no, I'm fine, even if I don't feel like I'm stressed out, maybe busy, but not stressed out, my body will know when it's stressed out. So even if I don't admit to it, it will for me. So that's really, I guess you can say, that's what's really been going on. One of the things that I do want to talk about, since I was on the subject of work, is how Crohn's disease can affect you trying to work. And over the years, I have had to either quit jobs or I've been fired from maybe one or two jobs because of the amount of time that I had to keep going back and forth to the doctor's office for my care. And that in itself is, I'm not just going to say, like, it makes me angry. And that is another reason why, even I feel like sometimes doctors don't realize, like, you're not the only doctor I have to go see. So I may miss an appointment, but it's because I've seen 3 other ones and I can't keep missing work. I understand as an employer, I'm an employee. You all need me here. That's why you hired me. That's why you all need me here to work. But on the other hand, if I'm upfront with you and say, look, I have a chronic illness, I have to, go and make these appointments and make sure I go, because if I don't go, I'm at risk to putting myself and my health in danger. But, let's say the doctor is running behind that day. Well, that's almost 2 hours that either I can make up or I can't. And what especially is annoying is that, let's say he is running behind, and let's say you just started a position and you already know that they're going to do an evaluation within the first 90 days. So it's as if, okay, do I try to postpone or reschedule my appointment after my 90 days, or still go and hope that, hey, they don't say anything, or that they understand that this was already pre-scheduled. So I have had kind of some bad luck at times when it comes with trying to keep a full-time job, make all my appointments, do my regular day-to-day life, make my kids' appointments, go there. I do kind of feel like sometimes companies, I understand they hire people and they need people to be there, but they need to also understand, especially those people who have chronic illnesses, and that they do need to make sure they get to their appointments. Like, they should be more understanding. Take for another example, I worked at a temp agency, and I was going through the worst UTI I ever had in my entire life. Like, it would take me so long to use the bathroom because it hurt so bad. And I explained to my supervisor, this is what's going on. I will be leaving to go to the doctor's office to see what they can do about it. But if you're ever wondering where I am, I'm just in the bathroom. You can definitely see me on camera. And still, I ended up getting kicked off that position because they said, oh, well, where are you going? And I looked at her like, didn't I tell you where I'm going? I'm in the bathroom. Like, I clearly told you I have a medical condition going on right now. And when I tried to explain it to the temp agency, they're like, oh, well, you should have told us. And I'm like, I don't know you. Well, I have to tell everybody my personal business? No, I'm not going to do that. Like, that was my direct supervisor. I wanted her to know, what was going on, that it wasn't anything wrong with my performance. I was doing the work. It was just that whenever I had to use the bathroom, it would take a long time, almost 15, 20 minutes. So I was really annoyed with that, because it was as if, like, what was the purpose for me to even let you know what I was going through if obviously you didn't care? So I've had, ups and downs when it comes to Crohn's disease, with trying to find, employment, to keep a job, to find the right fit. Because if it's a high energy, high stress level position, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to probably have a lot of issues with my disease, because mine, unfortunately, is one of those complicated cases that, that it's pretty complicated. It doesn't cooperate at all. Whether I take my medication or not, it just doesn't. Pretty much has a mind of its own. So I will say that, when I started theater, I love that. That was, what my original career choice was. But because of the long hours, theater and dance, it's high energy. I'm up for long periods of time. I'm moving a lot. It really does, put a lot of stress and requires a lot of active movements on the body. And I feel like that was one of my career choices that I really just had to give up. I just couldn't do it. My body would not let me do it. And no matter how hard I tried, I really tried. I probably pushed through a bunch of pain at that time. I was lethargic. I was immense fatigue. I could tell that I wanted to do more, but my body just would not. And I was literally fighting myself. I wanted to make sure that, no, I was committed to this. I could do it. But my disease was like, no, you're not going to do it. You're going to sit down somewhere. And it really was a defining moment with me that I just had to say, it's not going to let me do it. I'm going to probably end up killing myself trying to, do this theater and dance. And, I've thought about it to this day, gosh, could I go back? Could I go back to acting? Could I go back to dance? But I'm not going to lie, I'm afraid. I really am afraid to do it, because, it literally put me in the hospital. That was when, I really was having uncontrolled flares. And I don't know if I could ever go back doing that. So I definitely commend those of you who are able to, pursue your dreams and goals, especially, athletes that are able to still, do those high energy, careers. But, some of us, we can't. It really is a fight. So, that's probably going to be the end of this video, and I will see you in video number 7.